Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 81 of Brewing with Jim.
And welcome back from me, too.
Yeah,
I'm Jim, and you're Joseph.
Exactly. Thanks for being here, Jim. My name is Joseph. I'm question asker, producer, and all that. You are Jim Brewington.
I am,
Yeah.
and I get to be here, and I'm honored.
Yeah.
We enjoy this.
We're
We
blessed.
enjoy doing this.
We're blessed to be here.
Yes,
This is a fun opportunity.
When we get feedback from the audience members, that's indication of the blessing that we have. Yes.
Yeah. This is a show where we get questions from our audience, and we just try to provide wisdom, insight, as best of answers as we can. So we've got a question
that made
this
me
week.
think. I'm interrupting you, but that
Good.
made me think we have two episodes. We have two segments. We do the questions that come in from people.
Yep.
And then we have what you call the surprise
The
Jim
surprise,
question.
yeah.
It would. I thought this morning it might be fun if we had some of the surprise Jim questions from the listeners.
That'd be fun.
If they're interested in knowing, or surprise Joseph.
Yeah. They would have to email me directly. Because if they email Brewing with Jim, you're going to see them.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My email is on our school website if y'all want to check that out. If you have a surprise Jim question that you want to spring upon him,
bring it.
Email me directly at jjasper@cvcs.org. That way Jim doesn't see it.
Right.
Anyway.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. That's a great thought. No, I love that.
Okay.
We have a typical question. We have a first section question this week.
Okay.
And here it is.
Yes.
Very short. How do I break bad habits?
Oh. Okay. I don't have any bad habits. I'm good at all of them.
Same. You know?
Oh, yeah.
What must it be like, you know?
I presume the question is serious, so maybe we should be for just a moment, too. How do we break bad habits? There are so many kinds of habits that I don't even quite know where to start. Let's start with some habits are addictions.
Yes.
And those, we have many techniques that are presented before us, methods to stop doing that which is harmful to us. But there are other habits, and let's talk about that in a moment.
Sure.
But there are other habits that are just maybe annoying to other people that we should kind of do what?
Yeah.
Bridge, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. And then we have probably some behaviors that are annoying to us that we wish we could stop. Let's hit each of those.
The categorization is key. That's my first takeaway as well.
It is.
Yeah.
So it's an umbrella term that probably covers all behaviors that are in some way undesirable.
Yeah.
The addictions, there are 12-step programs. I don't care for the 12-step programs because they cause, number one, promote, maybe even cause someone to recognize a higher being, and the higher being can be anybody you come up with. It could be your imagination. You get to create God in your image instead of realizing He created us in His image.
Yes. Yeah.
That I oppose. Just theologically, biblically, and my gut just says there's something wrong with that. But another reason is that I am not favor of those programs is that no one ever gets well.
Sure.
You are acknowledged as an alcoholic. I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I have been that for 40 years. I haven't had a drink in 40 years, and I'm still an alcoholic. And my thought, doesn't anybody ever get well? Do you get healed?
Not with that.
Over? And so that's the promotion of those programs. Nevertheless, there is, by recidivism, some success measured by recidivism, people returning to their bad habits. And so I can't argue with the success.
Sure.
But I will, while we're talking about this, promote Celebrate Recovery, which is a program that has John Baker came up with that program, and by recidivism rate is the most successful recovery program that has ever been
amazing
established.
Yeah.
the person will introduce themselves in front of a meeting and say, my name is, first name, last name, and I am a follower of Christ, and I struggle with alcohol, or I struggle with, and then you name your addiction.
Sure.
That's very different than I am. My identity is my addiction.
I am an alcoholic.
Yes,
Yeah.
and if your identity is your addiction, how do you break that bad habit?
Sure.
Because it's my identity.
Sure.
So
Makes sense.
I'm going to leave up to the leaders of those programs and the professional therapists and people who work with aberrant behavior and the people who want to stop. Those addictions are, by definition, harmful,
Yes.
either to the body of the individual or to the people who love that person who is around them, because it affects their whole world.
That's
okay,
right.
I'll leave that, how to break that bad habit.
Yeah.
But it can be done, and it can't be done, in my view, without Christ.
Yeah.
There's the power to do it.
Yeah.
I can tell you that our will to break that habit, I am going to stop smoking. I am going to stop drinking alcohol. I am going to, and you stop whatever this habit is. You can grit your teeth, and that won't work.
Yeah.
Self-will
It hangs
doesn't
on.
work. God's will does work. We need
Yeah.
to be dependent upon on Him. And then that habit will stop. Okay, now let's talk about habits that are just annoying to other people.
Sure. Less harmful, less that they're addictions.
Well, my menu
Yeah.
of those habits must be very long because I have annoyed so many people. Let me talk about my marriage for a while. I'm doing this without the permission or knowledge of my spouse.
Sure.
But I have never loved someone that didn't annoy me once in a while with some behavior.
Sure.
And
vice versa, yeah.
One way that I have stopped some of those behaviors that annoy her is just she tells me
Yeah.
that this is annoying, and all right, well, when do I get to live my own life? How many behaviors are annoying?
Sure.
I can think of one that when we had ice cube trays. Remember? You don't even remember.
I know what ice cube trays
You know what Okay.
We literally have ice cube trays.
Oh, so do I.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't know if we do or not. Anyway, they used to be metal with the handle that broke the ice when you raised the hand.
Wow. Yeah.
Now you're going to tell me that you remember having an ice box. You
No,
don't.
I don't.
You don't. No.
I don't.
Okay. Okay. Well, you didn't hang your meat in a shed outside during the winter.
No.
No.
I grew up in Southern California.
So when we had ice cube trays, I would get ice and put it in the glass or whatever we're doing with it, and I would leave the ice cube tray out because I didn't fill it right then, and maybe
Sure.
sometimes I would just walk away. That annoyed her.
Sure.
That really annoyed her, and she pointed that out to me, and I said, "Okay, I'll stop doing that,"
Yeah.
and I stopped. That was a bad behavior, bad, inconvenient, annoying, bad habit. I don't know.
Is it less than a habit? It's like a tendency almost?
Well,
I don't know.
If it's just that kind of a thing, it's easy to break.
Yeah.
All you do is say, "Oh, I didn't realize," and stop it.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I realized when I was in my 50s or even 60s, I think my 50s, that I was tying my shoes wrong. And I've been tied them the way I was taught to tie them all my life.
Sure.
But the knot kept coming undone. And I would have to tie, and that happens with people. I see that all the time. They were reaching down, tying their shoes again.
Yeah.
Why? That's because I was taught to tie it with a slip knot. And slip knots are designed to come undone.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea. And somebody pointed that out to me, that I'm tying my shoe wrong.
Yeah.
Well, that's a habit. I mean, that's all muscle memory. You don't think about this goes here, pull here.
Right.
It's just the way you do it, and you've done it all your life.
That's right.
I went to, I don't know if you're going to laugh or not. I went to the shoelace website.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a shoelace website.
Like there's one What do you mean?
No, I don't mean one. There are
Yeah.
probably several. Google away.
Yeah.
But I went there and I learned the way to tie the shoe so it doesn't come undone. They have videos.
Is there like a governing body of shoelaces? Like, is there
it's
like
not governing. It's just a suggestion that you can tie your
Gotcha.
shoe this way or that.
So it's like a shoelace enthusiast.
Okay, so I learned the right way
Website.
to do it, or I learned the way to do it so they won't come undone.
Yeah.
Now, I've been doing this all my life. That's a habit.
Yeah.
I really had to stop and think, and this is inconvenient for me. Now I'm putting this part of the lace over the top, and this part goes underneath, and this.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a bad habit that I had to break, and it didn't happen instantly.
Yeah.
But now I have the other habit. Okay, is that a bad habit? Yes. What are other bad habits that people have?
Yeah.
Well, some people have lousy table manners,
Sure.
and it's just a habit that they have, but they don't really care.
Yeah.
Until somebody points this out that you would present better if you obeyed just standard table manners and do that. And so you break that habit by just deciding I'm going to do it and then concentrating long enough to do it. There are some people who do not want to break the habit because it's going to be too inconvenient and uncomfortable.
Right.
And we're talking about small behaviors seemingly, but these are not. In the late 70s, I think it was, or the mid 70s, during the self-esteem movement, teachers in schools, here we are, teachers in schools did not correct the way students held their pencils.
Sure.
And consequently, I look out over a sea of students in classrooms, and they're all, most are holding their pencils incorrectly.
Or in
their
different ways, at
handwriting is
least, yeah.
terrible. They don't know, and their wrist is sore. Okay,
Yeah.
I tell them, this is how to hold the pencil. It's called the dynamic triad, by the way. There's okay, this is how you do it, and people will try it for 2 minutes. And then, no, I'm going back to the way that's comfortable for
They're
me.
used to what they're used to.
I would call that a bad habit.
Sure.
All right. Now, what are other bad habits that you can think of?
I feel like let's get back to the original, like where we started, of like the categorizations. You've handled several of them so far. The first category of like, substance abuse and like really deep issues that stem from anything from trauma, mental health, whatever.
Yes.
Like Brewing with Jim as a podcast does not have the answer for you. Please seek professional help, right?
Yes.
That is absolutely, that's its own category that we certainly sympathize with, but that's not the kind of thing that we would be equipped to answer.
Correct.
Second category for me feels like, like annoyances to other people.
Yes.
Things that other people will call their pet peeves that you commit. And then for me, a third category is just small things that annoy yourself. For me, it's like biting my nails. It's like what I think.
That's a huge one.
I'm doing it and I'm thinking, why am I doing this? This is annoying and it hurts. And I somehow don't think about it and I don't stop. Right. So like those category in my brain, category 2 and 3 are kind of where we can not come in and like offer the answer, but where we can maybe offer some expertise, encouragement.
Yes.
So you've already talked about the category, my category number 2, which is other people being annoyed sort of by things that we're doing.
That I do, yes.
I think that communication is key. And you named that the person names the annoyance to you. And that gives you an opportunity, maybe for the first time, to realize you're even doing a thing that is annoying, and to potentially change that behavior.
Knowledge of the behavior that's annoying. I had no idea that this bothered you. So please tell me.
Exactly.
But don't tell me 10 things today.
That's also true.
Because then it becomes, now that's annoying.
Yeah.
And
it starts to feel personal, or it starts to feel...
Well, it is personal, but you tell me this bothers you, this bothers you, this bothers... I'm not going to invite somebody, even my wife, to tell me everything I do that bothers her. But she will mention once in a while that, are you sure that you want to do that? Or are you sure? I hesitate to even say this on mic, but here we go.
Okay.
I have a behavior that Debbie just can't stand,
Uh-huh.
and I can't do it in front of her.
Okay.
But I might eat potato chips or some sort of chips and have the bag. I'm sitting, this is not a meal, I'm snacking.
Sure.
And I'm sitting there. I will take out a handful of those and lay them in my lap.
Oh, wow.
And eat off my lap. She can't. No, don't do that. First of all, it's gross. I don't know why it is. And secondly, when you stand up, all the crumbs go on the floor. Yeah. Well, that's why we have a dog. And then I can justify all this.
I am, for the record, I will say this on mic, absolutely on your wife's side on this issue. That's something. That's a choice. Why not just pull one out of the bag at a time and pop
you don't have to give me the technique on how to eat chips. I know how to.
I'm going to.
But I want to put these.
This is turning into an advice show for you now.
Okay. Here you go.
Thank you for bringing your real life example.
You're siding with her about.
Now let me provide you with.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some other habits that are more difficult to break, and those habits might be. Well, I'm having trouble thinking of them.
Let's go back to the broader categories then.
Yes.
Category 1, we can't touch: mental health and substance abuse things.
Yes.
Okay. Category 2, things that annoy other people. Potentially we can change things here and there based on communication, and it's a back and forth, and it's, especially in something like a marriage, it'll be a long process. It'll be a compromise. It'll be something that comes up more than one time in your life.
Well, also, I tend to resist. Don't tell me, where's my freedom?
Sure.
It's my house too.
Yeah.
When do I get to be me?
I would say to that, is there a reason, is there a justification for the thing? Is there a particular, unique, beneficial reason
for the behavior
that you eat chips off of your lap?
I can justify any behavior.
Okay.
And so can you. And so can all our listeners. We can justify our behaviors.
But, is it good? Is it a good justification? I'm actually curious. Why do you eat chips off of your lap?
Because I don't. Okay, now I have to explain this, and I don't know. If I reach
in my defense, you brought it up. So.
If I write, yes, I did. Yes, regretfully. So I put my hand in a bag, and there are potato chips in there, and I bring them out. Now I've got. Should I pull out just one?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't want just one.
You pick out the amount that fits in your mouth. If it's more than one, that's fine, and you get some extra crunch. But you just, what is you pull out one?
This is becoming annoying to me.
I would actually like to welcome Debbie. Has been backstage this whole time. Debbie, please come into the studio. We have a third microphone.
Applause. Yeah. Here it is.
This has all been an intervention.
This is the big reveal.
No.
Okay, let's go on.
Let's
presume that the person who asked this question was serious.
Yes,
and we have.
I'm sure they are.
I'm sure
they're also laughing along with this.
I wish the people who would ask these questions would give us a little more background.
Sure.
What habit are you talking about?
Yeah. I've just thought of another maybe another category, so to speak, which could be it's not so much in the substance abuse. It's maybe more in that direction, but it's more the maybe sinful habits. I think of sexual sin, things like that.
Yes.
Call it pornography, if just to put a more direct name on it. That's not a thing that inherently you need to go away to a program to solve, but there's deeper wisdom that would be necessary, and in my opinion, counsel and accountability and other people.
Well, I don't know that there are programs. To my knowledge, there are not programs for a lot of behaviors that people have that are just annoying, but there may be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that if we can get someone close to us, a friend, I've got this behavior, and can you call me on it?
Sure.
Now, I've done that.
Sure.
I become irritated with retail salespeople who don't know anything about the products they're trying to sell, and I'm asking questions, that bothers me, and I don't do well with those people.
Yeah.
I have a friend who would often we just hang out, and we'd go into stores, and we would encounter retail people.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, would you just kick me or something if I'm not nice to these people? I did. I said that to him. And he said yes, and then he did. I mean, he didn't kick me,
Sure,
but
of course.
he
Nudged,
he nudged
something.
me and said, "Be nice here." And I had to realize the people who are working in there are created in the image of God and deserving respect, dignity, and
That's absolutely right.
and kindness.
Yeah.
Okay, but that was a habit that I had to break. I still haven't conquered it completely.
Sure.
Because and my justification is, this is your job. Don't you know what you're doing?
Sure.
Don't you learn product now? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That last category then that we maybe haven't addressed is just the little things that annoy yourself, biting your fingernails. Like, is that a category that we could speak into at all? Is there any, I don't know. What would we tell our audience member if they're asking, how do I break small habits?
There has to be a strong enough desire to want to.
Sure.
And the phony justifications that we come up with for our behaviors need to be recognized that this is a phony justification, and it does not really justify this behavior. Get rid of that.
Yeah.
Get somebody to help with it. Be open enough with somebody who can accept your weakness and with love.
Yeah.
And let them help. And then do whatever you have to do to remind yourself to stop doing this.
Yeah.
To stop it somehow. I, for a while, was gritting my teeth. And that's a behavior I didn't like and wanted to stop it. And I have pretty much conquered that.
Wow.
And I did it by, I just have to put my tongue close to my mouth, and then I won't do that. Okay, I had, and I don't know that I've ever told anybody that.
Sure.
That's just something that was harmful, annoying to me, and yet it was a behavior that was almost involuntary. It just happened. I had enough will to invest the energy and the concentration on that behavior to stop it.
Yeah. So let's summarize. I see two threads running through this entire answer that we can land on. Number one, it's very much a case-by-case basis.
Yes.
This is a big general question that we got today. How do you break bad habits? Oh, my goodness. There's so many kinds of bad habits. It's a case-by-case basis. But the second thread that I see running through this is I don't think there has been a category or a type of bad habit that we've talked about where the solution doesn't involve some other person in the process. Ideally, at least, yeah. That this is something to communicate, whether you have to reach out or whether people reach out to you about your bad habits, to put it gently. But this is something that ideally people help each other through.
Yes.
And so seek people close to you, people that you trust, and people that can hear a bad habit about yourself and not leave you and not disdain you, not hold that against you in some way. There are people that you can trust with this information, and I would say your first step might just be reaching out to them.
You're saying that made me think, when I want to break my bad habit, it's all about me.
Yeah.
Put the other person, the person who's being annoyed or affected by your bad habit, as a priority. Yes. I don't want to do this because I love you. And this is not a necessary behavior in my life. It's just there.
Yeah.
And I want to get rid of it because of you.
Yeah.
And I think the justifications that we make up for our behaviors will become so weak they'll extinguish.
That's right.
They have to.
I love that.
Okay.
Great place to end on this segment. Let's jump to the second segment of our show, which is always the Surprise Gym segment. Last episode 80, the Surprise Gym question was, what's something easy for you that seems hard for most people? Do you remember that question?
I do.
The question for today, what is something hard for you that seems easy for most other people?
Oh, whoa. Well, one thing that is difficult for me is social groupings and gatherings of people.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like them.
Oh, totally.
But I'm good at it. I can work a room. You
Yes.
can't be a pastor for as long as I've been one and not know how to work the ice cream social and the reception after the wedding.
Yeah.
You just have to learn
That's
to do
part
that.
of it, yeah.
But because I am, because I am an introvert, it's tiring for
Yes.
me.
Absolutely. I'm in the same boat, yeah.
I'm an outgoing introvert. That introvert just means that being around other
Yes.
people exhausts me or is
Yeah.
tiring. It energizes some people.
It does.
And that would be the extrovert.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel, tell me if this resonates with you. The way I've thought about it before, because I agreed with everything you're saying there. I feel like I deploy my outgoingness or like social interaction that I have to deploy it pretty strategically. Like there are times and places where it makes sense to go, yeah, let's dive in and be a part of this. And then I'm going to retreat and then I'm going to, and it feels like a strategy game in some regard. Is that true for you as well? Or do you think of it like that?
Well, I enjoy very much being with other people one-on-one or couple on couple. That I like.
Yeah.
And I can sit and focus and have eye contact and converse for a long, long time.
Yeah.
That's enjoyable to me. The party is, I don't like parties because nobody shows up, just their body does.
Sure.
30 minutes of weather talk. And for me to listen to somebody talk about themselves on and ever loving on
Sure.
is exhausting for me. And it's boring for me. So I have to recognize that is difficult for me, and it seems so easy for everybody else.
Yeah.
The people who like to do that, who enjoy, let me go. Where's the party?
Yeah.
Where's the party? And so there's that's the first thing that came to my mind, and it didn't pop up. I had to think about it for a while.
Yeah. That's okay.
But there are other people who are really good at enjoying socialization. I am skilled at socializing, but I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And so that's difficult.
Such a fascinating distinction.
For me.
Yeah,
Difficult.
absolutely.
So that's my answer.
I love it, yeah. Do you feel like the people that are good at doing that are actually, I'm using air quotes, like good, like that there is a skill to it? Or is it like do you ever feel like, is that a facade in the back of your mind?
Oh, I do.
Do you? Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The reason people do that is for some sort of benefit for themselves.
Sure.
Generally. That's true with most of us. We're not in
That's
a
fair.
relationship without
Completely
getting
fair.
some
Yeah.
benefit from it.
Completely fair,
But
yeah.
there are people who will socialize and they're at fundraisers and there's a goal in mind. Or they're being nice to people, they're running for office. Or they are salespeople who want to sell, and that's not the other person, and the social people there are not their goal, their own motivation, which is self-promoting.
Yeah.
Maybe legitimately. I mean,
It's
that's
not,
okay.
They're not all nefarious or anything like that.
No, it's not nefarious, but there are people who. Yes, I do see that in social situations that people like to do that. We have social gatherings here at the faculty here at the school. They're voluntary. I volunteer not to attend most of them.
Sure.
And I like the faculty.
Yeah.
But I would enjoy very much, and do enjoy, one of the faculty members and I go to lunch.
Yeah.
And then I can sit there and ask questions and get to know that person.
There's a
and
focus
we can
that's
laugh
there,
and we're not interrupted with the next person who comes. Okay.
Yeah.
That I like.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're good at, especially.
Okay.
That's-
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean-
your question or your comment was, is there skill involved? Yes,
Sure.
there is skill involved.
Yeah.
There is eye contact is a skill that some people don't have.
Yeah.
Facial expressions that are appropriate to the mood you're in or they're trying to convey. Many people don't have that skill, and that can be developed.
Yeah. Even just pure conversational skills. Like
that's true.
The ability to just say things that are appropriate or that are, less awkward or whatever it may be, or not rude, Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I think that's a great place to wrap up. I think that's a fantastic answer for, again, a rather abstract question. That's kind of how that works.
It was truly a surprise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. That's what I'm here for. Friends, we want to thank you for listening as always, and we want to invite you to reach out to us. We have an email address set up, brewingwithjim@gmail.com, where if you have a question that you want us to answer, that's where you should send it. Or if you just want to reach out to us, share anything about yourselves or where you're listening from, again, that is brewingwithjim@gmail.com.
Good job.
With that, thank you for another episode, another week, and we'll see you next time.
We'll be with you next week.
The topics that are covered and the answers that are offered during episodes of Brewing with Jim are designed to mine the wisdom attained from a life of pastoral ministry and care. They do not constitute professional or clinical training or expertise in the areas of counseling or mental health. CVCS and its podcast network want to provide a platform for the discipleship of our community. Brewing with Jim is our attempt to foster that environment in a format that is accessible for everyone to participate in. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed during the show are the speaker's own, and they may or may not represent the views, thoughts, or opinions of Capistrano Valley Christian Schools or its faculty. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. This episode has been a production of the Capistrano Valley Christian Schools Podcast Network. Capistrano Valley Christian Schools is a Christian JK-12 school in San Juan Capistrano, California. Be sure to check out, subscribe to, and leave a review of this show and the other shows on our network on your podcast player of choice. Doing so supports the school community in a multitude of ways. For more information about the CVCS Podcast Network or any of our other shows, check out cvcs.org or email podcasts@cvcs.org. On behalf of the whole network, this is Mr. Jasper saying thank you again for listening and stay tuned for more.